Enough fooling around. This is Yana Louise. I had to pop in because I was just living my daily life when I turned on a segment of Breaking Points, expecting them to serve Louis C.K. the platter of "boy, what you doing" that he deserves for trying to release a special after weaponizing his power to sexually harass and assault his coworkers and women in positions of subordination to him, ? What's going on? So, I mean, here's the facts. I adored Louis C.K. I watched his show, all the specials, the Spotify clips, all that, YouTube, you name it, okay? Adored. But he is a problem. He is a disgrace. Point blank, period. You may not. And that's what we need to let these people know. You may not traumatize people because you're sick. But anyway, I turned on Breaking Points and Saagar is for some reason very upset that Louis C.K. is still being punished for being a sexual deviant. Not just being a sexual deviant, because I'm not here to kink shame, but being a traumatizing, arguably criminal, certainly against a bunch of HR policies level sexual deviant, which is a little bit different than just being a little horny. Now, Saagar keeps trying to say this thing like, he admitted it. It's like, you can't just do some shit and then be like, yeah, sorry. Maybe if you lied or like cheated on a test or something, or like maybe if you like ate the last bagel when you knew you already had one earlier in the office meeting or whatever. Yeah, sorry, I did do that. Yeah. Hey, he seems remorseful. He's clearly not going to lie about eating that last bagel again. But nobody was really hurt by him stealing that bagel. There may be some distrust in the office from him lying about it, but I don't think anybody's laying up awake at night wondering if their career is in jeopardy for questioning him about his bagel. I don't think anybody's like pacing the floor, like developing PTSD over time because they can't stop thinking about how he ate that bagel. No, these are forgivable social faux pas, shall we say, that a quick, hey buddy, you know what, you're right, I did that, might get you out of, with a behavior change. No more double bageling. I'm looking at you, Bill. But no, when you go about psychologically and emotionally and mentally traumatizing people to get your jollies, that's not a my bad situation, Saagar. I don't know why that needs to be stated, or why you want a cape for a sexual predator this bad, but you can enjoy his comedy quietly. And I would suggest you do, because your points are not hitting. Breaking Points, more like, give it a break. Ing points. I'm not good at this right now. So some of the things that Saagar says, he admitted it. He's been punished enough. He insinuates that he's been punished enough because he, quote unquote, has been basically out of the public eye. Oh no, the public eye. Go work at a factory. Change your name. Go to Omaha. I need you in Idaho. I need you somewhere in middle America with your head down, all right? And your bushy red pubes touching nobody or seeing nobody or nobody seeing them, okay? You go back to your shitty apartment after your shitty factory job and you sit down and you think about what you've done. And if that wears away at you until you can't take it anymore, that's your problem, buddy. Because I bet these ladies have a few things that are wearing away at them, or at least that were before they called you out. You're not entitled to the public eye because you like having it. He is not being deprived of something that he is owed. He is being treated appropriately and having the privilege of public adoration revoked from him because he is a predator. For some reason, Saagar seems to think that it matters that Louis C.K. asked these women if he could traumatize them before he decided to do it. Which, I mean, chivalry's not dead, right? Let's be fair here. Some women's bosses are just whipping it out without even so much as a bat of an eye, a glance, a memo, door not even closed yet. Buckle undone, pants on the ground. So maybe Saagar and Louis are right. Actually, no. Saagar and Louis don't even agree with each other. Louis seems to understand that he was taking advantage of a power dynamic in a way that is psychologically harmful. But Saagar either doesn't understand that, does understand that and doesn't care that bad, or I don't really know. But he's like, hey, the guy hasn't been in public for 5 years. Can't we forgive all of those instances of completely dangerous, traumatizing behavior that he randomly decided to inflict upon people in lower positions of power than him? Can't we forgive that? You can. And each individual who decides to attend his show or buy a ticket or buy the special can. But all this caping you're doing, trying to defend him because Twitter is coming for his neck, Twitter needs to come for his neck every time he tries to go for his freaking belt buckle. I don't care if he's just trying to take a piss. You don't do that. And Saagar, here's the last thing I want to ask you. You think that this was no big deal? You think that he was just, being sexual in a socially unacceptable way slightly or something like that? Like he wasn't trying to do anything. You don't think? So my question to you is, if he didn't think there was anything wrong with his behavior when he was doing it, why wasn't he jerking off in front of Natasha Leggero or A.D. Bryant? Why wasn't he doing those things? Why wasn't he jerking off in front of Leslie Jones? Why wasn't he jerking off in front of a lot of headlining female comics? I wonder why that was. I wonder what that could have been. Why he would only ask people who would be in a precarious position if they declined, if he could do something that we all know is socially inappropriate. I wonder why he didn't ask anybody in a position of power over him if he could do that. I wonder why. I can't figure it out, because it's not like he was doing anything wrong. He could have asked me, he could have asked you, he could have asked a cat, he could have asked a dog, he could have asked anybody, right, Saagar? It had nothing to do with the sick power dynamic. Nothing at all. That's why he asked Oprah, he asked the Queen of England, he asked everyone, right, Saagar? Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't do that. He only used his weird, freaking arbitrary amount of comedian power, whatever that is, to encourage these women to agree to something that they otherwise would have had no interest in. That's coercion. That is sexual harassment. I'm not saying that people need to stone Louis C.K. to death. I'm not saying that, that he needs to go to jail for the rest of his life. I'm not saying he needs to pay a huge fine or whatever. I don't know what should happen to Louis C.K. But something about what's happening to him right now seems appropriate. So how about you stop pretending as if he deserves some sort of open arm welcome from the society he has inflicted so much damage upon? Because maybe you people do not understand what happens when a person is taken advantage of in that way. To which I can say, congratulations. What a charmed life you have been given. But that shit doesn't stop there. It reverberates. You want to save the kids? You want to help with mental illness? Make these sick freaks realize there is no place for what they do to our society in our society. Because 5 is never 5. And the people they affect with their trauma, the people whose lives are touched by their trauma, and so on and so forth, someone's going to have to break that cycle now. Saagar. So no, Louis C.K. is not being mistreated. He is not being treated like some sort of a pariah unnecessarily. He is a pariah. You may not traumatize people for your sick kicks. And if you do, you can forget about people pretending like they still like you. You and the other sickos who don't understand the depth and the breadth of your actions can go to a theater somewhere, wherever you need to go, and you can tell some jokes to each other, all the while missing the entire point that you're the jokes because you are so out of touch. But Saagar, I know that you hate cancel culture, but on this matter, this has nothing to do with your ridiculous obsession with canceling cancel culture. This is somebody who committed crimes, whether you want to call them literal crimes, de facto crimes, or social crimes. But this is somebody who did that. We have a right to respond how we want as a collective. You can have your subjective opinion. No one's trying to rob that of you. Stop trying to rob us and gaslight us into thinking that this shit is okay, because it's not. You are in the minority, and you need to check yourself. It's disgusting. Anyway, I gotta go take a spiritual bath to forget that Louis C.K. exists. Bye.